In 1979, two young girls encounter a disturbing man on Huntington Beach before one of them disappears. 12 days later, only her skull is found. This sketch is then shared with every newspaper before the detective himself sees his suspect on television, winning the dating game and kissing his next victim. But no one could have imagined that Rodney Alcala is a serial killer, suspected of killing 130 people, until one 8-year-old girl who survived will come back to take him down.
Well, let's see. Bachelor number one is a successful photographer. His father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome.
In retrospect, it has got to be one of the creepiest moments on TV.
Bachelor number one.
Yes.
What's your best time?
The best time is at night. Nighttime. Nighttime is when it really gets good.
The arrogance to actually go on television in front of the whole country looking for more women.
Detective Jenkins cannot believe that Robin Samso's killer is on TV. He finally confirms this is the man from the drawing. He immediately starts calling the police department to tell the sergeant he's identified Rodney Alcala, but he can't help but worry for the contestant on the show. It was recorded 1 year earlier. The woman contestant is Cheryl Bradshaw, and if she chooses him, will she become his next murder victim?
Will that date be Bachelor number one, Bachelor number two, or Bachelor number three? Who gets the date?
Well, I like bananas, so I'll take one.
Number one, Bachelor number one, all right.
But backstage, once the cameras are off, Cheryl's instinct tells her something's not right. So she calls the producer of the show.
She called me at the office and she was like, Ellen, I can't go out with this guy. I mean, he is a creep. I'm not going. I can't.
She got, as she said, very creepy vibes from him. She felt very uncomfortable.
I went, well, God, no, don't go. I mean, you don't have to go. I think it may have saved her life.
It's July 24th, 1979, when police arrest Rodney Alcala for the murder of Robin Samso. All this time, he had been hiding in plain sight, living at his mother's house, just a few feet away from where Robin's body was found.
They obtained a search warrant for his mother's residence where he was living.
They don't find any forensic evidence linking Rodney Alcala to the murder of Robin Samso, but they do find a receipt for a storage unit in Seattle.
They get up to Seattle, they open it up, and it was a bonanza of evidence.
They found over 1,000 pictures of young girls and boys that were in explicit and sexually provocative poses, and a lot of them were naked.
And many photographs of potential victims that Rodney may have targeted, and recover many rolls of undeveloped film.
They also find various forms of jewelry, a bunch of different earrings.
Two of the earrings found were gold ball earrings. Robin was described as wearing those earrings on the day that she disappeared.
Now we have something that links Rodney Alcala to Robin Samso.
February 1980, Rodney Alcala goes on trial. Every seat in the courthouse is taken. Robin Samso's mother, Mary Ann, is there. As she's sitting behind her daughter's killer, she has a clear view of him, and her hand is inside her purse, clutching a gun. No one in the courthouse knows that she's about to shoot Rodney Alcala. Not even Robin's oldest sister, Tarana, sitting next to her.
My mom she was never the same. It's like her life just had this big empty hole, and everybody else was just on the outside looking in. She really didn't care about anything else at that point. She wanted to avenge her daughter.
I was going to shoot him right between the eyes if I could have gotten a shot at him.
I do remember she was very calm. She just kept saying, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
But then, she felt Robin's presence.
All of a sudden, I smelled her shampoo. And I felt this warmth in my hand, and I couldn't get my hand out of my purse.
I remember her telling me that she heard Robin's voice and told her not to do it.
April 30th, 1980, the jury has reached a verdict. Rodney Alcala is found guilty and is sentenced to death.
It's a poor exchange for my daughter's life, but maybe it'll save someone else's by him being gone.
But to the horror of Robin's family, the unthinkable happens. His sentence is overturned just 4 years later.
Today, in a 5-1 decision, the California State Supreme Court ruled that Rodney Alcala did not receive a fair trial.
There's been a gross miscarriage of justice for being found guilty of something that I didn't do, and I think the case will be reversed on appeal.
Will Rodney Alcala ever be put to death in your estimation?
Not if I can have anything to do with it.
Just can't believe that we have to be punished for what he did. He's got nothing to do but gain. And all we have to do is be destroyed and be pulled down a little bit further. I don't know if we can, really.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Rodney James Alcala, guilty of the crime of felony.
Death, that's the only penalty that could ever be rendered in a case such as this.
The second time he was found guilty, and he got the death penalty again, and we were extremely happy.
But in 2001, in the most unlikely turn of events, Rodney's death penalty is again overturned, dragging the family back into the horrors of another trial and risking his liberation.
My mom really kind of lost it then.
We've gone through a lot of hell because of that animal. A lot of hell. A lot of hell. Every time this happens, it's like losing Robin all over again. You know? I don't know if you've ever lost a child, but there's nothing that hurts like that. Nothing.
This case was assigned to me back in 2003 when my boss came in and essentially gave me the rundown on it, said that it was going to be a tough one.
That's when Matt Murphy decided to go back to the evidence. And he had that pouch of jewelry that was recovered in the Seattle storage locker reanalyzed for DNA.
After successfully petitioning for his conviction to be overturned, Rodney Alcala is awaiting his third trial. What he doesn't know is that forensic science is catching up. After entering Alcala's DNA into the database, District Attorney Matt Murphy, along with police in California and New York, are trying to find matches in cases that were never solved. What they discover is far more shocking than what they expected. DNA links Alcala to 4 Los Angeles murders: Jill Barcombe and Georgia Wixted in 1977, Charlotte Lamb in 1978, and Jill Peranto in 1979. Investigators in New York will later link him to the murders of Cornelia Crilly in 1971 and Ellen Hoover in 1977. 6 women, 4 of which were murdered before his appearance on The Dating Game.
Right at that moment, we realized that not only is Rodney Alcala a vicious murderer, but in fact, he is the serial killer that we always suspected him to be.
The year is 2010, 9 years since Rodney Alcala's conviction has been overturned, when finally his third trial reaches its end. This time, he will not only be charged with the murder of Robin Samsoe, but with a total of 5 murder charges in the California State Court. However, there's one witness who will shock the courtroom: the 8-year-old girl who, in 1968, survived the serial killer.
It was the first time I ever had a name for her, first time I'd ever seen her face, and it was pretty overwhelming. I was just so happy to see her alive.
My name is Tali Shapiro. I'm one of Rodney Alcala's first victims and one of the only living victims. I remember the morning was nice and warm because I wore the dress that my nanny had crocheted for me. And I was supposed to take the public bus to school because it was only blocks away. But I didn't like taking the public bus by myself. Car approaches me and I guess asked if I needed a ride to school. So he had his window down, I'm on the sidewalk, and I'm talking him through the passenger window.
And she says, my parents told me never to accept rides from strangers. And he says, I'm not a stranger, I know your parents.
Which is totally possible. There were so many people in and out of my house. My father was in the music business, so we had a lot of colorful characters in and out of our house. I just took it like, well, it could be, you know, I mean, I wasn't gonna be rude to the guy. I didn't know to fear people. I got in the car, that's when he asked what time my school started, and then that's when he realized we had plenty of time and he was gonna swing by and show me a poster. I really didn't feel comfortable at that point. and we headed off to his house. I followed him in, and that's all I remember. He obviously hit me over the head right after that, so that was it.
Tolly wakes up from a coma a month later. She has no idea what happened to her.
My parents never spoke about any of this, and neither did anyone else. I remember walking into my classroom and everyone looking at me like I was supposed to be dead.
After her ordeal, Tolly's parents moved to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. They want to start a new life for her. In 1971, when Rodney Alcala's trial for her attempted murder takes place, they refuse to let her testify and traumatize her further.
I'm so grateful my parents did not have me testify. None of this was my knowledge, and I didn't need to know about those things. It would have totally messed up my childhood.
But she has no idea how she survived the attack, only that she had 2 guardian angels watching out for her. One is a cop, the other a simple Good Samaritan.
In 1968, I was a sales representative and I drove a lot. That day, I drove up to Hollywood and I was going along Wilshire Boulevard. I wanted to turn around, but there was a car in the crosswalk. Inside was a man and he was talking to a young girl, evidently on her way to school, and he was smiling and talking to her, just fixated on this little girl. That disturbed me. All the warning signs were there.
Donald Haynes is at the right place at the right time. He sees Tolly get into the man's back seat. He can tell something's not right, so he decides to follow the car. Right away, he notices the car has no license plate. His mind is racing, not knowing what will happen to the little girl and unsure of what his next action should be, until the car stops in front of a house. He watches as Tolly walks out of the car and into the man's house.
I thought, what the hell do I do now? He may have a gun, who knows? And so I thought, well, I'll go find the payphone and I'll phone the police.
And I received a call to see the man about a possible kidnapping at Las Palmas and Sunset. There's a gentleman right on this corner waving me down.
Donald Haynes tells Officer Chris Camacho exactly what he saw, shows him the house they got into. Camacho immediately calls for backup.
I went to the front door and started knocking. I could hear someone running around. The suspect appeared, moved the curtain back. I looked him in the face. I said, I need to talk to you. Please open the door. He relayed to me, I just got out of the shower. Give me a moment. And I am looking at him. He's not wet, doesn't have a towel, and he's nude. There was a rage about him. He wasn't calm. His eyes were fixated and angry. So that's what I told him. I said, you need to open the door. I need to come in and talk to you. I put my ear to the door and I'm hearing moaning. Within seconds, I kicked in the door. To the right was a dining room, to the left was a living room, and straight ahead was a kitchen. And here was this little girl. Blood all over the place with this bar across her neck. That kind of violence, it still haunts me. We all thought she was dead. She wasn't breathing. There was no pulse.
As Officer Camacho checks the rest of the house for the suspect, he sees him escaping through the back door. There's a chance he can catch him, but he has to make the choice: run after the killer or stay with the little girl who appears to be dead.
I wanted to catch him. I desperately wanted to catch him. I just couldn't leave that little girl with that bar across her neck. And that was breaking all protocol, because the crime scene, you're supposed to contain it, not touch anything. But I grabbed a towel and I took the bar off her neck and set it on the side. And that's when we heard the little girl starting to gag for breath. Oh my gosh, she's alive.
Right away, an ambulance is called and Tolly is rushed to the hospital as she's barely clinging to life.
As we're searching the house, I found a wallet on the end table and I picked it up, I opened it, I found ID belonging to Rodney Alcala. I saw his face, I saw him, I knew what he was capable of. I wanted to go to the hospital and checkup on her, the doctor said to me, had you not taken that bar off her neck, she probably wouldn't be alive because you opened up her airway. And it struck me profoundly.
Back in the courtroom, everyone is stunned. Tali Shapiro's testimony has left everyone speechless. As she leaves her seat, she sees someone she's been waiting her whole life to meet.
I was with a group of people, and she came running up to me and said, Mr. Haynes. And I said, who are you? She says, I'm Tali Shapiro. And I said, oh, I'm so glad to see you. She said, you're the only reason I am here. That was really, really something that got to me.
I had some guardian angels around me, the Good Samaritan, and I had the policeman. Without those two people, I would not be here today.
As she exits the courtroom, reporters all ask Tali for a statement.
He should be put down. I don't think he should breathe another day, honestly. So
She doesn't know it yet, but there's one person watching who has been following the trial more closely than most. Morgan is at home, looking at the brave young 8-year-old who survived. Seeing Tali's courage brings Morgan to tears.
I had blamed myself for so long. I wanted to contact her, but I felt so much guilt. I thought she'd hate me. I spent a couple days trying to write the perfect thing to just apologize to her, you know. And I sent her the letter.
I said there was nothing to forgive. I don't hold you responsible for anything that happened to me.
Tali saying she forgave me changed everything. It was definitely a huge step to my recovery. When I went to see her, I told her, you know, I said, for years I've wanted to hold you. Are you okay with that? And she said yes. And I just hugged her. I couldn't let go. It was just wonderful.
It's March 9th, 2010, when the trial for the 5 murders committed by Rodney Alcala in California, including 12-year-old Robin Samsoe, comes to an end. Finally, the jury has reached a verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Rodney James Alcala, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
The jury found Alcala guilty of all 5 murders.
You know that those families in that moment have a piece of justice after such a long wait of 30 years.
We, the jury, determine that the penalty to be imposed upon defendant Rodney James Alcala to be death.
Now I've prayed about this and I've given my hatred all to God because I've let this feeling consume me for 31 years and I'm not going to give him no more power over me.
But the story doesn't end there. Following the conviction, authorities have released 120 photographs taken from Alcala's locker in the hopes of identifying possible victims and solving missing people's cases. In 2015, Kathy Thornton stumbles upon those pictures and identifies her sister Christine 39 years after her disappearance. After spending her entire life looking for answers, Kathy can finally put her sister to rest.
All right, here's a look at some other top stories this morning. Convicted serial killer Rodney Alcala died in prison.
The so-called dating game killer died early this morning while still awaiting his execution.
I feel like Robin's life meant something, even in 12 years. She stopped him from killing anybody else. And I believe that if you would have told her that God was going to use her for this purpose, she would have been okay with it.
It took me a long time to realize that when evil touches you, it changes you, but it doesn't own you. Evil will never own you.